back, guys. It's your boy Timmy, and like I said, I've been back here once again with a new video this week, telling you guys who I think are predicting my Super Bowl winner. So obviously, as you see on your screen, we got the Kansas City Chiefs highlights from all this year, and this year was a weird year for them. There were a lot of downs, but there were also a lot of ups. You got Patrick Mahomes doing what he's doing. He didn't have a Patrick Mahomes-esque year, but he still got the job done as the best quarterback in the league, and it's not close. He got the job done to lead his team to another Super Bowl, his fourth Super Bowl appearance in 6 years as a 6-year starter. Then you got Travis Kelce. He didn't have his normal 1,000-yard receiving season, but he still does what Travis Kelce does. He's still the best tight end in the league to me, and quite frankly, I don't think it's close. I think anybody would agree with me there. And you got promising young stars in Rashee Rice, who I think is a promising young wide receiver. You got a promising young running back in Isaiah Pacheco. He runs as hard as anybody. And speaking of the receiving core, they led the league in the most dropped receptions this year. But on the bright side, I feel like Rashee Rice has been one of the few bright spots in the receiving core. And one of the weaker spots in the receiving core is Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who received a lot of heat and slander this season. But overall, when you look at the playoffs, he made timely catches. When the team needed him to make a play, he made a play. The offensive line has done a great job in once again protecting Mahomes. He rarely gets sacked. And then the defense this year, that's something that really surprised me and a lot of other people and other football fans. Steve Spagnuolo's defense has been elite this year. They've played sensational, top to bottom. Trent McDuffie, L'Jarius Sneed, Chris Jones, Willie Gay, Reed. You have all these guys, they make plays. There are a lot of steady guys who make plays. So this is the best team. I wouldn't say it's the best team. This is the best defense that Mahomes has played with. Offensively, this isn't the best team that he's had. But the offense has played well enough in the playoffs, in these 3 games from the wild card to the AFC Championship. This is the best the offense has looked all year. They stepped up in the right time. The Chiefs are just built for the playoffs. They're just a playoff team. They're just built for moments like these. Andy Reid's a hell of a coach. Offensive coordinators doing what they need to do. They know the Chiefs. They're just a great team from top to bottom. Play calling, which is why I'm going to transition to the other team on the other side, who's also top to bottom a great football team, and the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers, the team that I picked to come out of the NFC, just like I picked the Chiefs to come out of the AFC, are in the Super Bowl. And it felt like this was finally their time. The last 2 years ended in disappointing fashion. Last year, they had Christian McCaffrey playing quarterback in the NFC Championship with Brock Purdy going down, Josh Johnson going down in that game. And obviously, earlier in the year, Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo going down. And then the year before, Trey Lance went down earlier in the year in what was supposed to be his rookie season. And then Jimmy G, he took the 49ers as far as he could take them. Took them to the NFC Championship game, but they lost to the Los Angeles Rams. So that was pretty tough too. And then 2 years prior to that, he was in the Super Bowl with somewhat the same core. It was a couple of new faces, but almost essentially the same core. They had a 20-10 lead in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, and Jimmy Garoppolo disappeared. He went 3 of 11 for 36 yards, completely choked. And the defense couldn't do what they do to stop Mahomes, and that defense was just as great as they are now. Maybe they're a little better now, depending on who you ask. But quite frankly, I genuinely think that this is going to be a dogfight, I don't know who to... I know who to pick. I'm going to say at the end of this video, but like I said, the reason why I waited till this video to say was because I spent all of this past week just saying battling with who I think should win. The 49ers, they have, to me, Brock Purdy's a really good quarterback. He's not elite, but he's really good. He gets a lot of hate, for being he's a game manager. He's only good with the pieces around him. That's why. But I don't agree with that. If you take any quarterback's best pieces away, of course they're not going to be the same. I think with him it's just different because he was the last pick in the draft and he was Mr. Irrelevant. But to be as a second-year starter in the Super Bowl is just sensational. And then you got Christian McCaffrey, the best running back in the league. It's not close. Doing what he needs to do. To me, he's their best offensive player. And then you got George Kittle, the second best tight end to me, doing what he needs to do. You got Brandon Ayuk, top 10 receiver, depending on who you ask. Deebo Samuel, and just in terms of like physicality and rage, and he's just dominant. Like he could block, he could run, he can receive. He does it all for that offense, and his presence is definitely felt. And then on that defense, you got Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Nick Bosa, Javon Hargrave, Chase Young, and if they really want to, they can go to Randy Gregory. And then they got Tart, they got all those corners back there and all those safeties just doing what they need to do, playing steady. It's going to be tough, you know? And then not to mention, I forgot that Greg Jennings, he's a comparable piece to that team. So a lot of 49ers fans should be really happy that they're back in this position, you know? And then Kyle Shanahan, the offensive guru that he is, and you got Steve Wilks running that defense, calling out plays, it's going to be tough, you know? Which is why I'm going to pick the San Francisco 49ers to lose to the Chiefs once again. They're going to lose to me 24-27. I just can't bet against Patrick Mahomes in these moments. He's becoming Tom Brady-esque in terms of his back against the wall and him being the underdog. When you bet against Brady, he just delivers. It's the same thing with this guy, with Mahomes. I think the lights might be a little too bright for Purdy. Not like as much as people would think, but because it's the Super Bowl. He's been to 2 NFC championships now. But because it's the Super Bowl, the biggest stage of all, I think he might fold when Mahomes might deliver. I think when the moment matters the most, I think Patrick Mahomes is going to outplay him and do what he needs to do to get the job done. So I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game 27-24. It's going to be a dogfight throughout the whole game, but I think towards the end of that fourth quarter, the Chiefs are going to pull away. And I think the Chiefs defense might get enough stops in order to give the ball back for Patrick Mahomes for him to deliver. So that's another thing. Not to say that San Fran's defense won't fight, but in these playoffs, San Fran's defense looked a little shaken when they played against the Packers, against the Lions. Meanwhile, with the Bills and the Dolphins and the Ravens, the Chiefs' defense has played amazing. So that's why I think the Chiefs are going to win. And they've been here, done this so many times. So I got the Kansas City Chiefs winning this Super Bowl 27-24. That's my predictions. I'm going to see you guys next week on the Super Bowl to give you my post-game thoughts. I'm out.